Hi, I'm Victorian.
And I'm Kenneth Conscious.
And together we are Astral Talk TV. So in today's episode, we have a really good show for you all today. So sit back, relax, get your popcorn, get your drink, whatever you do, and just enjoy this show. Today, we're going to be talking about all things out-of-body experiences, all things near-death experiences, and all things astral travel experiences. And by the way, after watching this video, feel free to comment down below and let us know if you've ever had any of these experiences. We would love to hear your story. So without further ado, I guess we can talk about this.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. This particular experience was quite recent because I noticed that I do travel pretty much almost every time I go to sleep. I was feeling it was like wind, and it was just like I felt like myself float out of my body, and I would come back in, and then I would float out of my body and come back in. It's like I was stopping the process. So when I finally just relaxed and let my body just go, it's like I was in like a parallel reality. It was the same reality here, but it was like I was in a different spot. Everything was glistening and shining and like had colors. But I couldn't move though. But I felt like I was being forced to move. I felt there was something moving me. Now that I think about it, that could have been my higher self possibly, or just my spirit guides telling me, hey, just let go. We got you. That was an experience that I had recently. You have any experiences?
I do, and the crazy part is that it happens to everybody.
Yes.
Because some people, they just don't know what it is. They think, oh, it's just a dream, or it's a lot. I'll tell you about an experience that happened to me. This experience happened to me in the year 2018. So I'll never forget this. It seems like it just happened yesterday. I was driving at night, and I was on my way to visit a friend of mine, and it was raining really bad that night. So I remember that on the part of the street that I was at, I had to make a left turn in order to get into this neighborhood that I was trying to get into. And what happened is that I ended up getting T-boned by some kids who shouldn't have been driving. And to make a long story short, I actually died in that car accident. The crazy part is that when it happened, I was in this room, and the room was super quiet. Like, you could hear a pin drop, but it was a different type of silence. Almost like when your ears get plugged, and it's that type of silence, but without the ear ringing. It was like that.
Wow.
And I started floating, not upward like this, but it was like at an angle, like how a plane goes. And I was going really slow. And I saw these curtains in front of me. And as I was floating toward these curtains, I heard, "It's not your time yet." But when I tell you, it's like you don't feel anything. And it's just my experience. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel happiness, sadness, pain, joy, nothing, anything like that. It was just super quiet, and I was floating toward these curtains. And I heard that it's not your time. And I said, well, it can't be my time. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. It's just because, and you hear a lot of people saying that when they do get into that mode or into that realm, or when they leave their body, when they die, have a near-death experience, and you hear it's not your time. If you've ever noticed, when you hear these stories, these people never want to come back.
Yeah.
They're like, no, does it really have to not be my time?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to fight against the grain and keep going forward. Now, mind you, my uncle, he passed away in 2015. So as I was going, and by the way, it's his voice I heard.
Okay.
So,
okay. Yeah, I was thinking it was like, was that an ancestor or somebody? Yeah.
It was my uncle. Yep, definitely. And it's like he came out of nowhere in like a speed of light. and he had like a sheet in his hand, but the sheet was invisible. All you could see was the outlining of the sheet.
Mm.
And you know how you would fling a sheet or a towel if it has lint on it or something?
Yeah.
You know how you kind of get it, you kind of just go like that?
Yeah.
So he did that. As soon as he did like this, it flew me back into my body. And when I opened my eyes, I was back in the car again.
Wow.
Where the accident took place. So when that happened, I sat there for a second and I saw these people outside, and it was just raining. Cars were stopping. Some cars were going, and I'm seeing my license plate down the street, and it was just a wreck. It was just a serious wreck. My car was actually totaled behind that, but I remember going to reach for my phone because it fell off the seat because of the impact.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering why I couldn't grip the phone. I was like, why is it that I can't lift the phone up? And when I looked, I found that on this hand right here, this finger, my pinky finger, was down here.
Wow.
It broke and it was hanging down here.
That's crazy.
My whole hand, my hand was broken, my finger was broken, and this part was broken as well. This one was fractured, this one was broken, and this was broken.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this. When that happened, when I got back into my body, I lie to you not, that's when my spiritual gifts as a healer got activated. That's when they got activated. I was able to do a lot after that. I was able to heal people after that. It was just really crazy.
Wow.
I didn't realize it right away because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what it was, but that's exactly what happened.
I've heard that if you like get close to death and come back, you do kind of upgrade. There's something with that. There's something with that.
You do. And the scary part about it is that why does it have to take that? You know, so, you being in turmoil or going through extreme grief or almost dying in order to open up gifts like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess I guess it's just part of the game. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because experiencing that. Of course, I would never want to experience that again. I don't wish that on anyone, but it's just. I mean, I wouldn't trade it, because of what I'm able to do now. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, another experience that I had. Now, this is what I would consider. I don't know if I would consider this a vivid dream or an astral travel experience. Now, a vivid dream to me still aligns with astral traveling to me because of how it feels, because of how real it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the Astral solo low thing. So things are happening in the astral plane, just as it happens here. Things happen in spirit first before it comes to the physical.
Yeah.
So I really can't even believe I'm about to even tell a story.
Have I heard this one?
I think you have, but I haven't told many people this story before. I think I have, but maybe I didn't. I was working at a car dealership in 2018, but I swear it felt like this weird vortex. If you looked in the sky, the clouds were white. You seen blue skies and everything because you had strip malls and everything going down the street. You had different stores and everything was just clear. But right above that car dealership was a black cloud.
Yeah.
Every single day. Every single day was a black cloud. Every day I would come to work, I would see that black cloud that was just hanging over the place. So one night I went to sleep and I woke up and I was standing in front of the car dealership. Now, standing in front of the car dealership, I'm looking through outside of the car dealership was nothing but glass. So as I'm looking at the glass, I'm seeing myself, my reflection within the glass. But the thing is that I can see through myself, as if I was a ghost or something. So definitely astral travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why did I astral travel to this car dealership? Because like I said, it was some weird vortex. I'm telling you, it was just some portal of sorts that I just could not put my finger on. So then I would blink, and I'm sitting in this room. I'm sitting in this living room, and I'm looking around this room, and it was a mess. It had clothes on the floor. It had kids' toys and stuff like that. And I saw these kids, they were playing and stuff like that. And I'm seeing people in the kitchen, they were my family.
Yeah.
But they were Mexican.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand what was going on, but my mother was in the dream as well, but she was my mother's, like my actual mother. She wasn't Mexican, but everybody else was. So I don't know if they were my kids. I don't know what was going on. And so she's like, well, and I said, well, I gotta go. And she said, well, why are you gonna go? I wouldn't go anywhere like that with that arm looking like that. And I said, well, what do you mean? And I looked down at my arm, and my arm was a prosthetic arm. It wasn't my real arm. It wasn't my real arm at all. So I kept looking at it, and I started panicking a little bit. And I said, but why does my arm look like this? She was like, so you forgot that fast what happened? And I was like, what? She was like, you tried to save them people on that boat when they were canoeing, and you tried to save somebody from drowning, and the propeller cut your arm off. So the prosthetic arm was like a plastic arm, but it was, you know how a stress ball feels? It was like that type of material, but more of a plastic type. Yeah, so it's like you could squeeze it and stuff like that. It was weird. So then I blinked my eye again, and I was standing back in front of the car dealership again. And then all of a sudden, I was back in that room with my mom and the Mexicans again.
Yeah.
And then I was back at the car dealership, and then it started happening really fast. So I was at the car dealership, in the room with the Mexicans, at the car dealership, here with the little kids, and then it started going like this. Then what happened was just that my spirit got caught in between both of the dimensions. So where the kids were, or where my mom was, to where I was at the car dealership. So I was in the middle, and then the dimensions started closing in like this.
So you almost got stuck in between the dimensions.
I did get stuck. I did get stuck, but I think it was to the point where I wasn't making it back to my body because I started gasping for breath, and I knew once it closed in, I was done for.
That's crazy because I always heard that there's like a cord. Like I've seen this cord, but
yeah, and the cord brought me back to my body.
Yeah,
but it felt like it was a close call.
Yeah,
it felt like it was a really, really and I mean a really close.
That's like
call.
the dimension, because like both the dimensions were closing in on you. That's crazy. I've never had that happen to me, like dimensions closing.
That is quite the something. Now, this particular story, I was on this airplane, and I don't know where I was going. I forget now where I was supposed to go, but it was somewhere like in the Midwest or somewhere on the West Coast that I was supposed to be flying to. But the plane was flying really low, like it was flying above the light post on the interstate.
Yeah.
That's how low it was flying.
Yeah.
So we had to catch this flight in order to connect to this train.
Mm-hmm.
So we landed, and we connected to a train. Like the plane just stopped on the interstate.
Yeah.
And just let us off. And we got on the train. And so we got on the train, and we're going, and I'm looking out the window, and we're like riding through this forest. I'm seeing all of these animals, like wild animals. I'm seeing monkeys swinging from trees. I'm seeing all sorts of stuff. And I hear the conductor say, hey, we're going to stop at a rest area. So go use the bathroom, go to the little snack machine, do what you got to do. We're going to leave in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay. So I get off the train, and I'm looking at the rest area, but the rest area is like this little cabin.
Yeah.
And it has the men's restroom here, the women's restroom here, and it has a snack machine right in the middle. So I went and got me some chips or something like that. And this guy tells me, he's like, hey, come on, we're gonna miss the train. So I was like, okay. So we turn around and we're just going. We're trying to hurry up, and I stop and I look because I saw a train, but it wasn't the train that I had got on.
Yeah,
it was an old train, and this train looked like it had to be like it was sitting for like 200 years.
Yeah.
it was that ashy gray. It was dusty and everything. And so I said, that's not our train. And he's like, no, this is our train. Come on. So I was like, okay. So I get on the train and I went to go find my seat to sit down, but I started to look around at the people who were on the train, and everybody was like covered in dust. They were sitting there like they had been sitting there for a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Black rings around people's eyes and stuff like that. And I said, well, what is this? And the guy told me, he said, this is the train for the people who are dead, but they don't know that they're dead yet. And then I woke up.
What the hell were you doing on that train?
I have no clue.
Wow.
But I woke up like, what in the world? Like, I just saw this lady. She was just sitting there. Everybody's eyes were open. Black rings around their eyes. She was holding her purse in her hand. Everything had dust and everything. And he told me that, and then I woke up.
Was it like in color?
No,
black
it
and white?
was in black and white.
Oh.
It was in black and white. At that point, it was in color at first, but when I got back on the train, everything was black and white.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just like a black and white movie from back in the day. And I don't know why I was dreaming that. But yeah, those are a couple of my stories for now. I don't know if you would consider that an astral travel, a vivid dream. I know it wasn't an outer body experience, but
that gotta be like a vivid. That gotta be like a vivid dream, or no, it's more than a vivid dream. That has to be like, that gotta be a vision. That was like a vision of you probably in a parallel world or a parallel dimension. You going somewhere else, because it wasn't here. Like, that wasn't just some dream. That wasn't that was like a vision, because that's crazy.
But that is the crazy part. And some of these stories that I just told were, now that I think about it, probably were visions, because for me to have that dream about that car dealership, and getting my arm chopped off in the dream, but then that same year I get into that accident and I have a cast going up my arm.
Oh, that was probably showing you what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but the symbolization was different.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Saying that, well, it could have possibly gotten cut off, I guess, but maybe that wasn't my fate. Maybe I was just meant to just break a few fingers at that time.
Break a few things at that time. But that's wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
Like, to have dreams like that and you don't know, like, you just wake up and you're like, okay, like, let's go. Like, this is where I'm at.
Sometimes. And sometimes you can have those dreams, and I know all of you who are watching, I don't know if you've ever had, and I know everyone has had one of those dreams where it seems so real and you wake up and you know it's a dream, but it kind of rides you for a small portion of the day. That dream lingers on you, that feeling lingers on to you until lunchtime or something, and then it kind of fades away or something like that. Some of those dreams were like that, where it was kind of like hovering over me,
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't really dissect some of these dreams, especially those reoccurring dreams. Like, I know when I was a kid, even when up until when I was an adult, really, probably in my 20s, I would have these dreams where, the dream where somebody's chasing you, but you don't know who's chasing you, but you know to run. I'm always in this house. And it's a house that I'm not supposed to be in. I know it's not my house. It's a big house, too. And I'm in the house, but I know I'm not supposed to be in there. Somebody's house, but they're not home. So I'm like, whoa, I need to get out of this house.
Yeah.
I need to get out of this house. And it's all of these different doors leading to different places. And then this is one door I'll open up, and it's a library. It's a huge library, like college campus type of libraries. But everything is in gold. And it's all of this wind, and you see all the pages flying around the room and stuff like that. And it's almost like that was my safe space in the dream that I could go to. But if I got out of that room, then I was going to be captured by somebody because I wasn't supposed to be there, and I don't know how I got there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? You talking about that? That's just crazy because you said there was a whole bunch of doors and everything, right?
Yeah,
In the dream.
yeah, leading to different parts of the house. Some to lead to different floors. You can go upstairs. You can get to
Yeah.
different rooms like guest rooms and different living rooms or movie rooms where
Yeah.
people watch TV. And I mean, it had like
That's wild.
maybe like 6 floors in the house. You know?
Wow, that's you know what? Because that makes me think. Because I had a dream, but this was years ago. But you talking about that made me think of this one. When I went to sleep, I woke up and it was just rows of doors. Like it was one hallway, and it was just doors on each side, like doors into like you couldn't even see. So where I was at, it was like door 21, 22, and I'm going around and I'm opening them and there's nothing in there. And I'm opening doors and you'll see like boxes or something like that. And I'm just open them. And I'm thinking that, okay, maybe this is my subconscious mind. And then I get to door number 8 and I'm like, hey, I'm on life path 8. So how about I open this door? And I'm opening it and it wouldn't let me in. And I'm struggling with it. It won't let me in. So I start, ramming it 2 times, didn't come in. Then I rammed it again, and right when I get in, there's a guy in there. It's dark, but it's dim. There's a guy in there, and he has a gun. And he's like this, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's just like, "You're not supposed to be in here." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm not supposed to?" I'm like, "What do you mean I'm not supposed to be in here?" He's like, "How did you get in here? How did you get it?" I said, "Well, I just forced my way in here." He was going through like a mental breakdown, but right when I went to go get him a hug, I woke up.
How long ago did you have that dream?
This was, I want to say 2019, 2020, around there, 2020, 2019. Yeah, this is a while ago.
No, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you remember a couple of months ago, Tova said she had a dream that you were trying to open these doors.
What?
Remember? Yep. Remember I told you? She said, "Yup." She said
what?
She said you were astral traveling and you were trying to open these doors, and she was sent to let you know not to open a particular door. You were trying to open the door, and she came to tell you not to open the door. And she said you just faded away and disappeared. And I asked her why that happened, and she said she doesn't know. She said she had the feeling that whatever that door you were going to open up, it was going to lead to like this dark place or like some abyss where you were going to like fall somewhere. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's funny like that.
Wow.
You had that back then, and now she's just recently she's like, hey, I had to find him because he was trying to open these doors. So you like to open doors and dreams. Stop opening those doors, man.
Yeah, that's what I do like to open door. Well, I'm just when I'm there, I'm just like, because it's different. Like when it's an astral projection. Well, obviously it's astral projection, but when like when you're in a dream and you're like, wait, hold on, something ain't right.
Yeah.
And then it's at that moment I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking that this is a test or this is something that I gotta conquer. So I'm sitting there trying to open doors. So yeah, I guess I gotta be careful, with opening doors because some doors I might not want to open.
Well, what I have to be careful doing when I dream, and luckily nothing happened to me. But as you all know, when you are dreaming, do not eat or drink anything from anybody in your dreams.
Yes.
I know a couple of months ago I had a dream, and you were in it.
Yeah.
You were there. Yeah, that dream. We were like in this house, and it was like these 2 women, and they were, first of all I could see were eyes and teeth. That's all I could see. Like they were smiling, and they had really short curly froze. I could see that, and they were like hidden away in like a dark part of the room. But I'm looking, and it was in the daytime. So all of a sudden, you see these white cloths start to swirl around them, and then as they were swirling around them, these women, they were the most beautiful women ever. Like they looked like they were. I could tell that it was back in like the slavery times.
Okay.
but I couldn't tell if they were just dark skinned or whether they were maybe like Nigerian or something like that. But they were so beautiful, and then they had like this long flowing hair and stuff like that. And they went in the kitchen and they started preparing food. I mean, they were washing dishes. One was cleaning off potatoes. One woman was cleaning off some greens, some collard greens and stuff like that. And they made some, what do you call them? They made mashed potatoes. There you go, made mashed potatoes. And so, and they smell so good. Those mashed potatoes, they smell so good. I could see the steam coming from off of it, like they had just fixed it, and it was homemade too, nothing from the box. And they had on those outfits that women used to wear back in the day when they would cook in the kitchen, like those white dresses with the aprons and stuff like that.
The Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, okay, they had those on and stuff like that. And they walked up to me and you, and they were smiling, and they scooped a scoop of the mashed potatoes, and they walked up to you and tried to give it to you, and you looked at it and you turned and walked to the side. And so then they came to me and they said, "Huh?" And so I I ate it. I couldn't control it. I didn't know until after I did it that I should have did it.
Yeah.
But nothing happened to me. Thank goodness. This did happen some months ago, but. Y'all, those mashed potatoes taste so good. They were buttery. They had chives in it. I don't know, they had all sorts of stuff. Maybe they were trying to give me a recipe. I'm hoping that's all it was, but it was so crazy. And then I woke up, as a matter of fact, I think I woke up. I don't know if you've ever woken up into another dream. It's a whole nother ball game. You go to sleep and you wake up in another dream. Crazy. But yeah, I woke up and that was crazy. As soon as I woke up, I said, "Oh no." I said, "I hope nothing happens to me. I can't believe that I actually ate a scoop of those mashed potatoes that they cook. Those mashed potatoes are so good."
Yeah.
Maybe I went to sleep on an empty stomach last night. Hopefully it was just a dream, but if you know, you're never supposed to eat or drink from anybody in your dreams.
And it's, when you said the teeth and all that, they had like razor sharp teeth.
They did.
That's
what it looked like. They were just smiling in the distance at first. And then they switched to the beautiful women with the long flowing hair, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's
and don't hit me up in the comments too bad, when you guys see this and stuff like that, because I know these comments are going to be something.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm still here doing this video with you guys, so
that razor sharp teeth, because now, like, it's like the more you speak, it's like I'm thinking of dreams. Then I'm like, oh crap! Like I'm having, it's like you're making me think of all these dreams, and I don't think I told you this, but this is when I went to the underworld. I wake up and I'm floating in the underworld. You've seen Mortal Kombat, where Reptile takes, I forgot who he takes with them, but he's fighting. I think is it Liu Kang? I think Liu Kang is fighting Reptile.
That's exactly who it was.
Okay, yeah. Liu Kang is fighting Reptile, and then Reptile, he goes to kick the Reptile, and then he takes him into that place.
Right.
It looked exactly like that.
Oh, so you must be talking about the original.
Yeah, the original Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it looked exactly like that. And I'm floating. I just wake up and I'm floating. And I know, like, it wasn't a time where I'm like, okay, am I in an astral travel? Am I in a lucid dream? Like, as soon as I wake up, I know, I'm like, okay, where the hell is this? Where am I? And I knew this was an out of body experience.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there floating, and I don't even want to turn my head, because like I'm looking at all the bones and spirits walking around, and then I'm feeling somebody like pull my feet. And as I'm looking straight, I see a cauldron. There's a lot of spirits around. It was a big cauldron, and there was a black man with a phantom cape, a phantom mask. He had this big churning stick or whatever. He had this big stick. I keep floating towards him. And as I'm floating towards him, he's just looking at me, and he's...
Sounds like as he was turning, he was bringing you to him. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And then I'm sitting there. I'm like, you know, and as that's going, people are pulling my feet, and I'm like, what the hell am I? And I'm getting closer and closer. And then as I'm getting like almost to a space, I wake up.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like he was pulling you toward him. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
know, it's just dreams are really weird. A lot of people wouldn't dare, especially on a platform like this, like YouTube, come on here and talk about the crazy dreams they had, you know, probably out of fear of people, you know, thinking that they're crazy or judging them or something like that. But this is Astral Talk TV, okay? So, you know, we talk about everything. And this is, of course, this is a safe place for people to come on here and talk about their dreams and things like that. You know, we would love to hear your experiences. We would love to hear any out-of-body experiences, any near-death experiences, any astral travel stories, anything like that, because
that's what we're here for.
This is what we're here for. I mean, those who resonate with this content, you already know this isn't the only dimension out here. You know, I mean, we're just in the 3D physically right now. But if you've seen the movie The Matrix, you know, once you go to sleep, you're wherever you are, and then you come back and stuff like that. It just, and there's some crazy places you can see. Some places that, you know, they seem cool. It's whatever resonates with you, right? And some dimensions, you're just like, okay, I could have done without coming here, you know. But it's funny as the years go on, if you think back on it, or if something sparks your memory on it, it resonates more because you get more of an understanding, which is the reason why it comes back to you. Just like how I brought up a dream, then it's like, oh, I remember this dream, which led me to, it's like pieces of the puzzle. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you remember, you know, Tova said, hey, you know, I was sleeping and I astral traveled to him and he's trying to open these doors. That's why I said, when did you have this dream? 2019. So yeah, you're quite the curious person in the spirit realm. you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so it's just
is that showing that past, present, and future is like the same thing? Like it's like it's no, there's no past, there's no future. It's just now, and like there's just parallels to where you can just go and travel and see. Because if I had that dream 5 years ago, and she had that dream, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, probably.
Like how does that?
And then you have to think about too. I mean, yeah, if you talk about the past, present, and future, I mean, hey, you can get up right now to go get something to drink or something, but guess what? It's now in the past. Yeah. You know, especially if you're looking at it from a spirit lens, you're still sitting here talking to me, right? But no, that's in the past. You're now getting something to drink. You come back to sit down. There's a version of you who's in the kitchen. You know, it's just crazy. You know,
so it's like time doesn't exist.
Well, time doesn't exist. We're the only dimension that uses time. You know, whoever they created the clocks and all that for us to utilize time and stuff like that. You know, but time does not exist. It does not exist, and it waits for no one. That's why it's always good to hop on any type of opportunities, things that you're trying to do in this life, because you know, when it's over, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
You know, you know, when some people say, hey, you know, oh, the world's going to end. Well, this is what I know for sure. One day your world's going to end. One day my world's going to end. You know, in this dimension. And then of course, then that journey comes along. I thoroughly enjoyed this. You know, I think this was a good conversation. Yeah. We would love to hear what you guys think.
Yes, let us know.
We would love to hear your comments. We would love to hear about your experiences. With that, we're going to close. And feel free to comment, like we said. Yes. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It definitely helps us with the views. It boosts the algorithm and all of that. So we look forward to seeing you all soon. All right. Peace. Peace.